In this lesson video, we will learn how to distribute a quantity among multiple parties, 2 parties, 3 parties or so. Here we will consider 2 different scenarios. In the first scenario, we will learn how to distribute a given total quantity among multiple parties when their percentage share are known. In the second scenario, when the percentage shares among multiple parties and one of the parties' quantity is known, then how to find total quantity and the quantity for other parties. Here we will learn how to distribute a quantity among 2 parties based on their percentage share. So, distribution of a total quantity will be distributed between 2 parties A and B, where A's percentage is X. We don't need to give this one, because if A's percentage is X%, then total quantity will be distributed between A and B. So obviously B's percentage will be 100 minus X%. So if the total quantity is T, A is getting X% and B is getting 100 minus X%, then we need to find how much A and B will get out of this total quantity. Okay, X%. A is getting X%. That means X% means X out of 100. So if there is $100, A will get X dollar. Now if we divide this by 100 and divide by 100, that will be 1. So A will get X division 100 amount or quantity if the total quantity is 1. But if the total quantity is T, if we multiply by T, then this one will also be multiplied by T. So it will be X division 100 times T. So if the total quantity is T, then A will get X division 100 times T. That is why we wrote here A equals X division 100 times T. That is A's percentage division 100 times the total quantity will be A's share. Similarly, if we do this kinds of calculation, we will get B's percentage, A's percent, instead of A's percentage, if we just put B's percentage is 100 minus X, divide 100 times this total quantity, so then that will be B's share. So the formula is, if the total quantity is T and A is getting X% and B is getting 100 minus X%, then A's quantity can be found at its percentage division 100 times T. Similarly for B, B's corresponding percentage division 100 times total quantity. Let us do example. Here, first example is Mr. Robert and Mr. Nixon work together in a project where Mr. Nixon, that is Mr. Nixon, shares 35% of the responsibility. So Mr. Nixon's responsibility is 35%. Since 2 of them work on the project, so the rest of the responsibility is on Mr. Robert. So Mr. Robert, his responsibility will be 100 minus 35%. That can be written as 65%. So this is their responsibility sharing. If the client pays $6,000 for the job, so this is the total quantity, $6,000 for the job, then how much each of them will receive. So this is the total quantity, $6,000, that will be distributed between Mr. Robert and Mr. Nixon. What is the formula to distribute? For A's share, A's percentage divide 100 times total quantity. So Mr. Nixon's share, Nixon's share will be his percentage. Anybody's share is that party's share divided by 100 times the total quantity. So Mr. Nixon's share will be his percentage, that is 35, division 100 times total quantity 6,000. Total quantity is 6,000. So now we need to calculate it. Just 20 and 20 gone. If we multiply 60 and 35, 6 times 5 is 30, carry 3, 6 times 3 is 18 and 3 21. So Mr. Nixon will receive $2,100. So Mr. Robert's share will be simple. His percentage, that is 65, division 100 times total quantity. His share, anybody's share is his percentage times divide $100 and the total quantity 6,000. So if we cancel this 20, so 6 times 5 is 30, carry 3, 6 times 6 is 36 and 3 39, and this 10 there. So Mr. Roberts' share will be 3,900. Instead of doing this much calculation, this part of the calculation, since we know Mr. Nixon's share is 2,100, once we know that and total quantity is 6,000, Mr. Roberts' share can easily be found also, that 6,000 minus 2,100, that could easily give us 3,900. So once share is found, we can just subtract that amount from the total quantity to find other shares as well.